Irresponsible Scientists, where we use this book, the book of totally irresponsible science, to prove each experiment is real or fake. So you're gonna want some of this stuff. Distilled vinegar, dishwashing liquid, the hand dishwashing type, and then you're gonna want some baking soda. These right here are the main things you're gonna need: vinegar and baking soda. But the dishwashing liquid is gonna help a lot with the Volcano. And then you're also going to need dye. Looks like a little gnome with a hat. Measuring cups and something to work with. I'm just using a bottle. This is all you're going to need. Okay, let's get down to the main part of it. So what we have is we have the vinegar, which is distilled, and then we have the baking soda. Now, I was doing some research, about 5 seconds of research, and I found that the perfect ratio is 12:1, which means for every 1 cup of baking soda, you would want 12 cups of vinegar. For every 1 teaspoon of baking soda, you want 12 teaspoons of vinegar. And so that would be the ratio, 12:1. And so that's the perfect ratio. The more vinegar, the better. I would say 12 is because if you just have too much vinegar, then I don't know if that would work. And now, the dishwashing liquid, how that comes in is it adds a little bit of bubbles to it, which is going to help in the end, and that's why we have the dishwashing liquid. And then, of course, the red dye is just to give it the color of a volcano. That's how it'll work. You might be wondering what the scientific reason is for the volcanic explosion produced from vinegar and baking soda. You see, what happens is the vinegar and baking soda combine to form 2 chemicals, carbonic acid and sodium acetate. The carbonic acid then decomposes into water and carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide and the water lift to the top, similar to a soda, which creates the explosion that you see. The dishwashing liquid helps to add an effect to the explosion. Because the ratio is 12:1, first we will put 3/4 a cup of vinegar. So 3/4 a cup. Okay, that's about 3/4 a cup, and we will not put the baking soda in because then that'll immediately cause it to explode. So the next step will be putting in the dishwasher liquid. Okay, so put some dishwasher liquid in there, and then what you're going to want to do is you'll want to put in the dye, some red dye or yellow dye. drops of that. Okay, so looking into my cup, I realized that there's still a lot of space. So what I'm gonna do is double the recipe, which means instead of just 3/4 a cup, then what you're gonna want to do is 1.5 cups of vinegar. Okay, so I added an extra 3/4 a cup of vinegar, and now I'm putting in a little bit more of the dishwashing liquid. That should be good. And then a little bit more dye. That should be pretty good. And now what we're gonna want to do is, because I'm outside in nature, I'm going to just use a stick and stir this up. Make this really nice and evenly mixed. This is a hard project for me because normally I can't stand the smell of vinegar, but because I'm doing this outside, which you should be, if you are following along, you should be doing this outside because the explosion. But because I'm outside, I can't smell the vinegar. Okay, so that's good. And now I need to move all my stuff away so that we don't get drenched with the explosion. Okay, so we need to back up and prepare for the inevitable. Okay, so Siri says that 2 tablespoons is 1/8 of a cup. So this is 1/8 of a cup right here. And we're preparing to dump it in. Be prepared for an explosion. As you can see, it is still pouring out. Still pouring out. I thought that there would be a big explosion, but I guess this is okay. Now, if we cover up the lid, would that add pressure to it? So I just put a rock on the lid, trying to add pressure to it. Now let's lift. Nothing. So, all in all, this experiment was okay. Of course, a Coca-Cola geyser would be a lot better, but not everybody has Mentos. So this is something that everybody should have, and this is a pretty good experiment. Now this looks more like a volcano. That's pretty cool. and it kind of looks like a volcano.